in the company is not going to raise any price in the near future. Why? Why? Is it because the S-boss and they realize now that, hey, it is in the public domain that we could go right Mexico and buy flour and wheat? We could go right China and buy wheat? I am about change. And thus far, Real Talk is very effective in Trinidad and Tobago, coming towards making changes for the citizens. Public Utility Minister Marvin Gonzalez have urged the population to appreciate and be grateful for the availability of the utilities. This, as Gonzalez recalled, time in his life when he had to fetch water using a bucket from a nearby river. Gonzalez, I want you to understand something. I want you, Mr. Gonzalez, to understand something. You are being paid thousands of dollars by public utility, by the finance ministry, to govern WASA. Come on. To govern WASA, I want you to understand that you ain't going in no office for no free code. You are being paid. Do not tell me that I, Saieed, have to be grateful for the water I get it. Let me tell you something, Gonzalez. Every 4 months, I have to pay $400 and I get water once a bloody month. So don't come on a media briefing and say, Saieed, you have to be contented. You have to be happy. Marvin, the next best thing for you to do is to resign and get the hell out of here. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Real Talk with Saieed Ali. I am your host, Saeed. We do want to thank you for joining us tonight, viewers. But remember, share our live stream on YouTube, on Facebook. It's Tertiary Real Talk. And let's get the show started. So, the Minister of Finance, Burt, has announced an audit into the expenditure in the Office of the Prime Minister. During the 9-year tenure in the Office of the Prime Minister and the 5-year tenure of his immediate predecessor, Kamala Persad-Bissessar, he also promised that the detailed audit will be laid in Parliament in 3 months. Burt made the promise in the Standing Finance Committee in the House of Representatives before a $7 billion, $359 million was approved budgetary allocation for his ministry. The minister said that he has instructed the Central Audit Division to audit the expenditure at the Office of the Prime Minister in terms of entertainment and other expense such as maintenance of the Diplomatic Center and so on for the period 2010 to 2015. Persad-Bissessar and the period 2015 to 2024, Dr. Rowley. So Trinidad and Tobago, Burt ordered an audit into the expenditure into the Prime Minister's office. He ordered that. Good? Okay. We still have a $3 billion missing. We still have to wait on Central Bank to give Jayawanti the okay to check the check clearing system. But Burt now, holding a very powerful position as the minister in the Ministry of Finance, cannot give and will not give the order to the heads of Central Bank to allow Jayawanti Ramdas to check the check clearing system that caused $3 billion to go missing. You see how power play is coming? Always want to say, Saeed, you're tripping, Saeed, you're bashing, Saeed, you know what's going on. Really? I just explained to you how power play is operate. That is what you call power play. It's like a game of chess. Only when you want to move with the king power, then it is move. So why Burt now, who having this powerful position as the minister in the Ministry of Finance, why can't he use that same power that you're commanding, right? The Central Audit Division to audit the expenditure. And imagine, look how far you're going back. You're going back to UNC days. You so want to prove a point. You so want to prove a point that $50 million is okay for the Prime Minister. Happiness, happy time. You so want to prove a point. You're going back to audit Kamala. Now you're coming to audit Dr. Rowley office, and then you will prove your point now as to why the $50 million on entertainment was approved. Let me tell you something, Trinidad and Tobago. I want you to understand this. I grew up in finance. I have almost, let's just say about 30 to 35 years experience and knowledge in the financial sector. Hence the reason why Real Talk Group of Company, we went for the license for Real Talk Credit Union. As it looks stupid on TV, eh? As it look like a dancing head bald head man on TV, eh? But I have about 30 to 35 years experience in the financial sector. Hence the reason why I am president of Real Talk Credit Union. Hence the reason why we have Real Talk Financing, where you could come and apply for a loan. That is how brilliant I am. But for the ones who say, Saeed, you're only bashing the PNM and the PNM this and the PNM that, trust me, when time for the UNC to get labeled, I do label them. But coming to experience, financial sector, trust me, that is my playing field. So I just showed you all the power play by Clongenbert, the minister in the Ministry of Finance, and the chestnuts he is moving. You want to audit Kamala term in office to see how much her office got under her tenure. Now you want to audit Kid Rowley, 9 years in the office of the Prime Minister. And then you will come out now with some document now stating the explanation as to why $50 million was given to Prime Minister for entertainment purpose. $50 million was given on a budgetary allocation for the office of the Prime Minister to have entertainment. But Clongenbert went to the same parliament to bring out that legislation, and they chartered the legislation on that criminal offense to make sure that you pay your property tax. Now come good now. Come good. When you're coming outside, come good. For many who do not know, finance is my game. Finance is my portfolio. Well, one of many. Almost 35 years in finance. So here's the reason why I ask the heads of Central Bank, why didn't you give Jayawanti Ramdas the access she needed to prove that the check clearance system made a mistake? And $3 billion didn't go to funding terrorism. Or it went up in smoke. Or it went to buy something. Or somebody getting a cut in it. Or somebody hiding $3 billion. Eh? So because you are the head of Central Bank, you could be the head of Central Bank with 5 years knowledge in finance. I have about 30 to 35 years. I grew up in finance. Ever since I started, when I wrote my common entrance, back in the day we used to call it common entrance. Now they call it SEA. My standard 5 teacher asked, decide what you want to be. You are about to start a different stage in your life. What do you want to be? I said, I want to be a traveling businessman. That's what I tell him. I want to be a traveling businessman. I want to deal up with plenty money. I want to do accounts. Here am I today. An accountant, a traveling businessman. I'm the president of Real Talk Credit Union. I'm also on the director's board for Real Talk Financing. So 30 to 35 years give me a lot of knowledge. So that's why when I take up the battle with Clongenbert, there is come wrong me. Because I know exactly what I am saying. Now, all listen to this video.
I have today instructed the Central Audit Division to audit the expenditure at the Office of the Prime Minister in terms of entertainment and other expenses such as maintenance of the Diplomatic Center and so on for the period 2010 to 2015 and the period 2015 to 2024, and I shall lay the report of the Central Audit Committee in the Parliament so that we can see exactly what was spent during the 2010 to 2015 period and what has been spent by the Prime Minister during the 2015 to 2024 period. I undertake within 3 months, I will lay that report so everybody could see, the public and everybody else. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
You see how proudly Clongenbert smiling? I will take 3 months and I will lay it in the Parliament. And I see a big smile on his face. Teeth looking white and nice. Yeah, he using whitening or something. So why now, Clongenbert now, cannot give the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago the same assurance that he given earlier now? Why can't he give the same assurance to Jayawanti Ramdas? And why he don't go to Central Bank with the power play button and tell them, here what's going on. I am the Ministry of Finance. I am being blamed for the $3 billion that is going missing, and I want you all to give her access. He have the power. Trust me, Clongenberg have the power. But somebody probably pocket $3 billion. We don't know. We don't know. We ain't here in Central Bank saying anything. How did $3 billion go missing? How? We are being watched for funding terrorists, funding terrorism under the European Union. But Central Bank do not want to give Ramdas authorization to check the check clearing system to make sure that this wasn't the fault. All I hear anybody talking about it? No, everybody rested down like a die off. It didn't die off, you know, the money missing. And I paid tax contributing to that $3 billion. So here's the reason why I am steady going to bring it up on national television. And I will study and inform the country. You think it's we country alone being embarrassed? No, when I raise it. Other ministers are looking on. Other ministers. Now, when he concluded the budget debate in the House on October 10th, Imbert said Prasad Bisesa was wrong to claim that a $50 million allocation to the Office of the Prime Minister in 2024 to 2025 budget for the housings of FET. It's entertainment. Entertainment include the word FET. Entertainment include the word partying. Entertainment include traveling abroad and having fun. Yep. The word entertainment categorize all this. Now, it was Prasad Bisesa who raised a question regarding a $400 million allocation to the Office of the Prime Minister for construction. She called on Dr. Rowley to explain what she said could be perceived as double dipping into public funds by allocation of this $400 million. Trinidad and Tobago, let me tell you something. Israel Bacchanal in this country, you know. Israel Bacchanal, you know. We have nobody is actually holding ministers accountable. Nobody. TDPS, well, let me see, they are being selected by those in high authority as to who to manipulate. We have the Commissioner of Police, everybody know her as Erla. The first year she did nothing to improve, to show Trinidad and Tobago, well, you know what, I am a woman, I will stand up in this country. Oops, it's like a cracked egg, everything that's leaking out. They put her back for a second year. What do we expect? If the eggs leak out in the first thing, where do you think you'll get in the second year? Not an empty shell? You expect it to have substance when the first year the egg leak out through a crack? So all you have in the second year is just a shell, an empty brain. You have a head on your shoulder, but it works nothing on your shoulder. So viewers, we are going for a short commercial break, but when we come back from this break, we're going to touch on a little bit of Manning and his history after this.
Become a member of Real Talk Credit Union, now located at number 14 Coroni Savannah Road, Chagonas. Open a fixed deposit with Real Talk Investments and get 4% on interest with interest payment being paid up front. Get in contact with us at 238-6716, 231-6219 or 339-1670. Real Talk Credit Union Cooperative Society Limited. Plant a seed today for a better tomorrow.
Tired of wasting precious time at the bank applying for a loan, only to be denied? We understand your frustration. Here at Real Talk Group of Companies, we take a different approach. Contact Saieed, Managing Director of Realtor Group of Companies and Licensed Moneylender at 238-6716, 242-7690 or 339-1670. Feel free to visit our office at number 14 Caroni Savannah Road, Chaguanas, or number 132 Superior Road, Victoria Village, San Fernando.
Welcome back to Real Talk. Now remember this, viewers. We at Real Talk Financing, we are the only financial institute in Trinidad and Tobago that is giving you an upfront payment on interest on a fixed deposit. There are many other institutions that would want to come close to us, but they cannot do what we are doing. They can't. They can't. So if you want to earn the most amount of interest on a fixed deposit, contact Real Talk Financing. Our numbers will be on screen, viewers. Also, you can be members of the credit union. Contact our office. So there is our number, viewers. 2429944 is South Credit Union. They are located at number 25 Superior Street in San Fernando. We have the central office, 231-6219, 14 Caroni Savannah Road in Chaguanas. And you're looking for cash borrow, you don't know where to go? Well, Real Talk have a loan center. It's 238-6716. Also, 339-1670. Contact these numbers, viewers. They are on screen. You are seeing everything. You don't need to go anywhere. And I'll tell you something. Real Talk. Real Talk with Saieed Ali has been on the air for almost 7 years. I believe it's 7 years now. Right? And nobody funds Real Talk with Saieed Ali. Nobody. We have a group of company. We can run the Real Talk Group company at. We have a company, Real Talk Group of Company, viewers. Everybody know we into reckon, we into financing. We're into security. Now we have Real Talk Credit Union. It's a group of company. And we come together, viewers, to fund Real Talk with Saieed Ali on national television. We are on Synergy from 7 to 8 p.m. Monday to Friday with a rerun the next day. We also have Real Talk Finance and Investment in Guyana. Trinidad, we're running. We're running. We're going up the Caribbean. Very soon we're going to have a third branch of Real Talk Credit Union. I wouldn't say where as yet, but it's coming along on stream. Preparations are being made, viewers, to open our third branch. So people are asking, Saieed, how are you doing it? It's Real Talk Group of Company. We are solid. We are solid. So a lot of people have been asking me, so Saieed, next year your credit union now end up like the Hindu credit union. First things first, let me ask you, what has the Hindu Credit Union done for Trinidad and Tobago? That's my first question. Real Talk with Saieed Ali, over the years, we have gotten about 12 or 13 legislations and amendments pushed for and passed in the parliament. You all know that. And that is a fact. That is what the Real Talk Group of Company, Real Talk with Saieed Ali, did for the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. On top of that, if I know I wasn't solid, if I know I didn't have a foundation under my foot, we would have never gone into financing. Like I say, 30 to 35 years knowledge and experience in that field. Hence the reason why I took Real Talk Group in that direction. And we are close to opening our third Real Talk Credit Union in Trinidad and Tobago. Well, we're going to Tobago shortly. Very soon, hopefully by January, I am in talks with some ministers outside of our country to go up the Caribbean. I don't care who say what, you know. You cannot stop me. You can't. I am like a tree that is planted by the waters. It's a Christian philosophy. We also use it. I am like a tree that is being planted by the waters that will bring forth fruit in his season. And now is my season. Now is Real Talk Group season. You understand? So hence the reason why I just tell you all, I am a leader, I am not a follower. Others would want to follow what we're doing. But trust me, when God sent a miracle, you just know it's a miracle. When God gives you a blessing, you just know it's a blessing. And with the same tongue of talking and finance, it's the same way I just also said this. God blessed me to do spiritual work from my mother's womb. When I came into this world, as a spiritually gifted person. So there are things I would do, and there are things I would not do. And with the same tongue in my mouth saying that, I just also tell bandits, you want to come around me? You're watching Saieed, you're watching Real Talk Group opening credit union, you're watching Real Talk Group lending money. Let me tell you something about Saieed. A few years back, they tried to kidnap my son. But they didn't know Saieed used to do spirit work. You understand? They didn't know that. So they rushed down on this small man now knowing, well, hey, Saieed is a businessman. But you didn't realize Saieed does ring a bell. No, you didn't know that. You didn't realize Saieed could invoke a spirit. You didn't know that. So that's why I know to stand up bold and brave on national television and tell any bandit, you want to run down? Not a problem. Not a problem. Now I'm going to tell you something. Running into Saieed, know what you're running into, eh? I want you to understand that. Know the individual you're running into. Know the individual you want to harm. Know the individual you want to pull a gun at. Because when they made an attempt to kidnap my son, God protected him. But God didn't protect the 4 people after that. Because 3 of them blind and 1 dead. I'm proud to say that, you know. But nevertheless, let me go back to our script. The new car industry has been labeled as the largest consumer of foreign exchange in this country by Minister in the Ministry of Finance, Brian Manning. In addressing the issue of foreign exchange, Manning said, citizens of Trinidad and Tobago in many ways are victims of their own success, and that people need to understand where they are as a country. Listen to Brian.
This all the time about what is the government doing about protecting foreign exchange. Madam Speaker, do you know what is the largest consumer of foreign exchange in Trinidad and Tobago? It is new motor vehicles, Madam Speaker. New motor vehicles. So I always have this discussion with various entities. We have to understand where we are. So Trinbagonians want access to new vehicles. And they want cheap fuel, but they don't want any traffic. And they don't want any of the negatives that come out from this. You want access to foreign exchange, but you also want luxury food items which deplete foreign exchange, even though we need that foreign exchange for essential items, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, in any economy, it's a give and take. When you do something on one sector, it affects another sector somewhere else. And we have to be knowledgeable and informed about exactly how it is we're dealing with the economy of Trinidad and Tobago. And I would say, as I said earlier, this government in the past decade has been both reasonable and responsible in managing the economy of Trinidad and Tobago.
So Trinidad and Tobago, I want to ask you a question. Where is this educated bald-head man came from with no common sense? Do you buy a car every month? Do I buy, as a businessman, do I buy a car every month or do I buy a vehicle every month? No. You know what I buy every month and it's a must? Groceries. Does the government purchase groceries? No, the government purchases no groceries. You know who purchases groceries? The person who owns the grocery. The owner of the supermarket, they buy groceries from other countries to sell back. Does Brian Manning purchase a car every month? No. Does Brian Manning buy groceries every month? Yes. Does he buy groceries every fortnight? Yes. So So where's the largest set of money going? If you do a survey of 100 businessmen, 100 businessmen will not buy a car every month. But 100 businessmen will spend $10,000 a month on grocery. Common sense. I know I'm bald head. I know I'm educated. But I have common sense at the same time. So in my calculation now, the biggest intake of foreign exchange will be going to the grocery owners. You know why? They need it more than the car dealer. Because if the car dealer import a car and they set it at a price, that could remain right there. And that car would not hamper the consumer. You know what would hamper the consumer? When we're not getting groceries. Common sense. But as I say, not everybody have it. Not everybody have it. So, switching gears. Commissioner of Police Earl Haywood Christopher have stated that she is happy with what the police received in the budget and will use what she received to do her best in her ability. Now, listen to this, Question about the 2.6 billion allocation, Haywood Christopher said she is grateful despite not getting all they wanted. You want more? Listen to this.
We are grateful for whatever we have, and we will be making full use of what we got. And the good thing about it is we know we can always go back to the minister at the media review. So we look forward to that.
Now, viewers, in his budget, the Minister of Finance, Clongenberg, gave the Ministry of National Security $6.113 billion. Mbud said that in order to enhance police presence, the police service seeks to advance its fleet by 2,000 vehicles over the next 3 years. Now, with 500 new vehicles in the first phase, hold on. We want more police presence, okay? So instead of now, Clongenberg now use his brilliant mind, not the common sense we don't have, Before Clongenberg uses brilliant mind, okay, good. We have rampant crime in Trinidad and Tobago. What we need is more police on the street. What we need is an intake of more police. Somebody say something. I feel like I'm in a church now. All I'm waiting is for somebody to say amen. Yeah. I feel like I'm a mosque. Tell them the truth, Imam. Amen. You need more police on the streets. What you need to intake more police officers into TTPS from 8,000 to 10,000. What you gonna get? More police presence on the street. You won't get more car on the street, you know. You wouldn't get more cars. You're buying 3,000 cars or 2,000 cars for police officers to match up again. We don't have a proper maintenance system for police vehicle in Trinidad because some racket always running somewhere. We have our location, we can't get the parts, this vehicle had a parked on for 7 months. It's always something. It's always some... It's always some kind of something. Common sense would need a minister to say, you know what? The citizens are asking for more police presence. Not the presence of vehicles, you know. The vehicle don't hold a bandit, you know. The officer do. The officer does. So what you need is more police officers into TTPS. That is what you need. Now listen to this playback.
To enhance police presence, the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service aims to expand its fleet by 2,000 vehicles over the next 3 years. with 500 vehicles expected in the first phase. Building the capacity of our police force is crucial, and the police service plans to focus on specialized training for officers with ongoing development efforts at the police academy. A new training facility will be established at Kamuto to support both new recruits and the continuous development of serving officers. While the road ahead may seem challenging, I wish to emphasize that every effort being made is driven by a deep-seated concern for the well-being of every citizen. We understand that behind every statistic is a person, a family, a community that deserves to feel safe and secure.
Trinidad and Tobago, now listen to this now, We're going to Earla Haywood Christopher. Watch how smart this woman is, yet foolish at the same time with no common sense. Ask whether the old police vehicle could be repaired rather than purchase new ones. Haywood Christopher said no. Not all vehicles could be repaired. How come it cannot be repaired? Why is this vehicle made in a volcano? If you take a drive to Vemcot in South and Vemcot in Port of Spain, you would see vehicles parked down there getting moss. Now let me tell you something. All vehicles in Trinidad and Tobago could be repaired. From a write-off vehicle to a scratch could be repaired. You know why am I saying that? Correct parts. And it could be repaired. So instead of you spend, let's just use a figure. Instead of you spend $10 billion in buying new cars, you spend about $5 billion and you repair every one that have that part. So what Ola saying is nonsense. Followed by who? Other people who will say no, they can't repair. Ola just want a new vehicle to roll with, that's all. All you want to look nice in a new Hummer. Ooh, who say Hummer? Did you all know that the new set of vehicle that they're buying, I believe, there are 5 executive Land Cruiser will also be purchased. Yep. 5 executive Land Cruisers. For who? For Commissioner and her boys. Yep. For the Commissioner and her team. Do they need that? No, waste the money. Waste the money. So Trinidad and Tobago, she said that all vehicles that can be fixed will be fixed, but some of them are beyond repairs, and within the government system, you can't cannibalize vehicle. Hey, Ola, you should have bite your tongue when you're saying that and let peace fall to the ground. Listen to this video.
All the vehicles that can be fixed will be fixed. Some of them are beyond repairs. Right? So it's other, and then, of course, you should know that within the government system, you cannot cannibalize vehicles. So that's a challenge we have.
So viewers, I just want to read this for you quickly before we go for a break. Now, while a specialized unit to tackle home invasion, right, would that be created? Erla said there is already a unit to target extortion. Trinidad and Tobago, hear this now. Erla was asked, will a specialized unit be created to tackle home invasion? Home invasion, breaking in your house, robbing, raping. Home invasion. Erla said there is already a unit to target extortion. Like somebody call you home and tell them, hey, I need 5,000. No, I don't need it, you know. Here what's going on. You're paying me 5,000 or I'm killing your family. Erla, who put you there, girl? Or should I say woman? Who put you there? You ask about home invasion, you tell them about extortion. My God, goodness. Let me tell you something, Trinidad and Tobago, we reach where we're going here now. From educated to Duncy head. We went for a short commercial break, but when we come back, you will hear a renewed call for weeding out corrupted officers after this.
Become a member of Real Talk Credit Union, now located at number 14 Coroni Savannah Road, Chaguanas. Open a fixed deposit with Real Talk Investments and get 4% on interest with interest payment being paid upfront. Get in contact with us at 238-6716, 231-6219 or 339-1670. Real Talk Credit Union, Cooperative Society Limited. Plant a seed today for a better tomorrow.
Tired of wasting precious time at the bank applying for a loan, only to be denied? We understand your frustration. Here at Real Talk Group of Companies, we take a different approach. Contact Saieed, Managing Director of Real Talk Group of Companies and licensed moneylender at 238-6716, 242-7690 or 339-1670. Feel free to visit our office at number 14 Carney Savannah Road, Chaguanas or number 132 Superior Road, Victoria Village, San Fernando.
When life throws you a curveball and you need a clear path forward, trust Real Talk Wrecking Service to get you back on track. Whether you're stuck on the roadside or dealing with an unexpected breakdown, our 24/7 wrecking service is just one call away. Fast response, reliable towing, and a team that's got your back. At Real Talk Wrecking Service, we don't just tow, we rescue. Real Talk Wrecking Service, your lifeline on the road to recovery. At Real Talk Studios, we dedicate our time to highlight the glaring issues we face within our community. Catch us live every Wednesday between 7 to 8 p.m. Real Public Concern. Because your concerns are meant to be heard. Send your email to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com.
Trinidad and Tobago, welcome back to Real Talk with Saieed Ali. Remember, viewers, Real Talk Financing is the only financial institution in Trinidad and Tobago that is offering you an interest upfront on a fixed deposit. Remember that, viewers. If you want more information on that, call me at 339-1670. That is 339-1670 to get more information on that. Also, become a member of the credit union, viewers. Start saving today for a better tomorrow. And me, with my knowledge, having almost 30 to 35 years in finance department, or 30 to 35 years knowledge of finance, in a financial background, I will give you a sound and positive way of making money. So viewers, remember I was telling you about the 5 Land Cruisers that will be purchased also. From the 2,000 vehicles that will be purchased for TTPS, 5 of the vehicles will go to executive people in Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. Now, each vehicle is approximately $1.5 to $1.7 million. Does those executive member of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service need a vehicle for that price? Ask yourself that. Ask yourself that. So listen to this now. Chairman of the Tobago Business Association, Martin George, also called for a weeding out of corrupted officers. Trinidad and Tobago Police Service has been made again this time from now. So viewers, over the last month, we would have seen 3 kidnappings took place with individuals wearing police tactical gear. At present, there are 2 officers charged for the murder of the Kunopia businessman. 2 police officers. 2 police officers. Now, Martin George, he asserts that police officers involved in criminal activity should face swift and serve consequences, and is calling on Commissioner of Police Earl Hayward Christopher to do more. How can she do more? George said, the Commissioner has the power of dismissal. The Commissioner can dismiss officers from the service. He said, these powers need to be exercised in a very strong and stringent manner if you intend to weed out corrupted officers. Listen to this video.
The reality is that I don't think that the average police officer gets the feeling that there are consequences for these types of actions, or that there are sufficient consequences. You know, the commissioner has the power of dismissal. The commissioner can dismiss officers from the service. So, you know, these powers need to be exercised in a very strong and stringent manner if you intend to weed out officers, because it makes no sense, Jason, that you have police officers who are charged if they are still receiving a salary. So in other words, okay, so they charged, and if some of them come out on bail, they're receiving a salary still, and then they're free to commit their criminal acts. You know, I mean, what is the point of that? So then we're paying them to be criminals. You know, it just makes no sense. So we need to be a lot more decisive. And, you know, this speaks to the whole question of the lack of public trust and confidence in the TTPS.
Now, Trinidad and Tobago, remember recently when the officers and them were held for the kidnapping, and TTPS did not want to release the picture image of the police officers. Remember when I came right here on set and demanded TTPS to release the names and the pictures of the individuals who committed the crime, the officers them, like any other individual or bandit they hold? Martin George had the same thing to say. He wanted to know, well, why TTPS didn't release the image and the names of these officers. They commit a crime. They should be on the public platform just like any other bandit. George continued by saying, when dismissing officers for criminal activity, you need to do the same, the publicity. You need to do the naming and the shaming, he stated. Remember when I said that? Release the picture we want to see? Listen to Martin George.
When you are dismissing and, you know, terminating officers for, you know, wrong acts or, you know, for criminal activities, you need to do that publicly. You need to do the naming and shaming, so that people will know, first of all, the public will know that you are taking decisive action and you are dealing with these officers, and other police officers will recognize, but hey, listen, there are consequences and people are being dealt with in a very serious way for breaking the law as police officers. You know, and so again, it's a whole gamut of things that need to be done, and you need to send very strong, very clear signals. And unfortunately, Jason, I think that is not the case at this point, and that's why there's so little public trust and confidence in the TTPS.
So viewers, we are going for a short commercial break, but when we come back, we're gonna hear Hines cut in TTPS overtime funds. Wants more productivity from cops after this.
Become a member of Real Talk Credit Union, now located at number 14 Coroni Savannah Road, Chaguanas. Open a fixed deposit with Real Talk Investments and get 4% on interest with interest payment being paid up front. Get in contact with us at 238-6716, 231-6219 or 339-1670. Real Talk Credit Union Cooperative Society Limited. Plant a seed today for a better tomorrow.
Tired of wasting precious time at the bank applying for a loan, only to be denied? We understand your frustration. Here at Real Talk Group of Companies, we take a different approach. Contact Saieed, Managing Director of Real Talk Group of Companies and licensed moneylender at 238-6716, 242-7690 or 339-1670. Feel free to visit our office at number 14 Coroni Savannah Road, Chaguanas or number 132 Superior Road, Victoria Village, San Fernando.
When life throws you a curveball and you need a clear path forward, trust Real Talk Wrecking Service to get you back on track. Whether you're stuck on a roadside or dealing with an unexpected breakdown, our 24/7 wrecking service is just one call away. Fast response, reliable towing, and a team that's got your back. At Real Talk Wrecking Service, we don't just tow, we rescue. Real Talk Wrecking Service, your lifeline on the road to recovery.
At Real Talk Studios, we dedicate our time to highlight the glaring issues we face within our community. Catch us live every Wednesday between 7 to 8 p.m. Real Public Concern. Because your concerns are meant to be heard. Send your email to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com.
So welcome back to Real Talk viewers. So, on the matter of TTPS, Trinidad and Tobago, with the spate of kidnapping by individuals wearing Trinidad and Tobago police tactical gears, do we have a sense of comfort in Trinidad and Tobago, knowing that just about 2 weeks back, 2 officers were held for kidnapping? Do we have a sense of safety, or do we as businessmen are going to reject police officers now when they come to our business place? How are we going to deal with that as business heads in Trinidad and Tobago? As businessmen, when you see police entering our property now, would it instill a fear in you? After seeing 3 kidnapping over the last month, with individuals wearing Trinidad and Tobago Police Service tactical clothing, ask yourself, are you going to let officers in or are they going to stay out? On that matter, the government is budgeting an 18 million decrease towards the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service overtime bill for fiscal 2025. The revelation was made during a standing finance committee when National Security Minister Fitzgerald Hines sought to explain the cut. Hines said that TTPS is working to decrease its overtime bill with intent to get more productivity from monthly paid officers during regular working hours. Hines, you're a real clown boy. Listen to this.
Observed, member, that decrease because the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service under the directive of the Minister of National Security, the Ministry of National Security, and the government, by further extension, has been making consistent and sustained efforts to reduce the overtime bill. That implies an attempt implicitly and at the same time to gain more effort and more productivity during regular work time from the men and women of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. So the decrease is thus explained, and the effort is ongoing to continue to bring it down as we maximize productivity in usual normal working hours.
How are you going to maximize productivity when you're cutting overtime? Okay, let me explain this to you. I working from 8 to 4. I reach into work 8 o'clock. And let's just say 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock now you get a call to go out in let's just say a patrol. You think, Heinz, officers are going to go out from the station 3 o'clock to go on a patrol when they're signing out at 4 o'clock? Common sense, boy, Heinz, boy. Watch me for a big minister. You ain't had that. You ain't have that. Let me tell you something, Trinidad and Tobago. In every station, whether it's a day patrol or a night patrol, when 4 o'clock reach, when 4 o'clock reach, or 6 o'clock reach, or 5 o'clock reach, every officer that is driving a police vehicle with policemen, they're going to start going into the station. You could call what from the station? You ain't getting overtime from the workers. Trust me. Trust me. Now, ask for an assurance that this would not affect police. And Heinz said the police commissioner was mandated to manage the TTPS effectively to maximize production during normal working hours and reduce the need for overtime. Listen to this now.
I am simply saying that the commissioner is mandated to rearrange the affairs of the deployment and the shifts and all that she must do as leader of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service to gain more from the officers in their normal working hours so as to suppress and to reduce the need for overtime, notwithstanding the fact that they are called upon as a unit, as a police service, to provide more to the people of Trinidad and Tobago. That's the mandate of the commissioner, and she has set about it, and she is to be applauded and encouraged.
Hence, I go tell you this on national television with no apology. At present, the last term the commissioner of police served, we got nothing. No increase of nothing. No production of nothing. With overtime. Now, you want to cut overtime and mandate the commissioner to do exactly what? Mandating the commissioner to do what? Sit down and warm the chair again? This time put her foot on top of the table and fold her arms? That is mandating? Because when you decide to cut overtime from police, this is an example. Heinz, you're getting 60,000 a month, let's just say. Dr. Rowley chooses to cut your 60,000 per month from 8 to 4 to 30,000 a month. The 30,000 that they cut was perks, was tax exemptions. They cut it off clean. So you're working for 30,000 from 8 to 4. When 3 o'clock reach, and the Prime Minister calls you to come to his office, or the Prime Minister calls you and say, here, what did I have a meeting? Go down in South, leave Port of Spain and go down South. You signing off 4 o'clock and he call you 3:30. What are you going to do, Heinz? He done cut $30,000 from your salary. So you're getting a bare 30 now. And you're working from 8 to 4. 3:30 till you go down South. What are you going to do, Heinz, as a minister? Common sense. Common sense. How we call it in Trinidad? Donkey logic. Donkey logic. Any train Begonian ain't going to leave 3:30 in Port of Spain to go down south in a meeting for this, for what? For a cut salary from 60 to 30? Come on, man. This common sense Trinidad and Tobago caller. Good night. Hello?
Yes, sir. Good night.
Go right ahead, my friend.
Saeed, I want to ask you something, right?
Tell me.
This cut overtime, right? With the airlines and they're doing with the police service, right? He justify with the reason for cutting the overtime?
Them can't do that. They don't have an idea on how to justify it.
No, I'm trying to understand if they justify the reason for cutting the overtime now, because the Prime Minister justified the reason for having a $50 million.
Correct.
A $50 million budget to party. That's party money. So he justified that. So why they can't justify the reason for cutting the police overtime? Why didn't they take that money and put it towards the overtime?
Let me tell you something. Caller, Hines do not have an explanation. The commissioner, it have nobody in the ministry presently right now has an explanation as to why they're cutting overtime. None of them can answer that. Because none of them are leaving 3:30 in the office with an order to go down south for 4 o'clock when they're finishing work 4 o'clock.
Because the matter they were going to happen inside, they're demoralizing the police officers that they have in the system right now.
Thank you very much.
People not going out there to try and put in an extra effort to do nothing.
Correct.
So you know what's going to happen to the business community, they know, they matter watch the back.
Yes.
Because you see all this kidnapping was starting back here now. It's only
it's
going to
starting back.
get worse. Yeah, it's only going to get worse. And this idiot we have a commissioner, she is signing out nobody FQL. So how people going to protect themselves? When a police come by your gate, like you're now talking there, how you going to distinguish if it's a genuine police or an imposter? Or somebody come and say kidnap you or to rob you on your
Correct. We don't know.
How you going to distinguish fake from real? It will not put anything in place for people to make a phone call to find out if it's a real police officer come there with an actual police vehicle. I asked a question here because this thing getting concerning now.
True.
If you understand what I'm trying to say, you don't know who is who now. You could be going on your police stop you and first and take your vehicle and go on with it. You don't know what's going on.
Correct. Thank you, my friend. We're out of time. So, viewers, we have about 30 seconds left on our program, but nevertheless, let me tell you something. Businessmen in Trinidad now, if they have an application for a firearm and they ain't get their firearm, let me tell you something. I don't want to say they're going and buy illegal firearm. I don't want that talk to spread outside. But I'm going to tell you something. Being a business person in Trinidad and Tobago and being targeted by criminals, you would want to protect yourself at all costs. All. Whether it's a legal firearm or illegal firearm, we're not promoting illegal. But I'm going to tell you something. For the protection of businessmen and their family, even a normal household individual, they will start thinking different. You know why? Because they are being pushed with their back against a wall. And when you're back against a wall, what you going to do? You're going to retaliate. And when you retaliate, people can start falling like flies. Viewers, we're out of time for tonight, but nevertheless, the truth will surface in Trinidad and Tobago. Until we meet again, good night.